What's up, fam? Bloom Daddy back with a brand new episode all about the Philodendron Pink Princess and how we're going to turn this one leaf cutting with just barely any roots and just one leaf into a full Philodendron Pink Princess specimen. It's very possible, very doable, and very easy if you follow these simple steps which I'm about to show you. So let's get to it. We're going to start things off with the question I get asked all the time. It's a great question, and it is, what is the best way to propagate your Pink Princess philodendron cuttings? My answer, water propagation. The water in the cup method, as I call it, works 100% of the time because it prevents any rot from occurring on the stem. Here's what you got to do. Just keep a close eye on the water level. You want the water level to be above any aerial root nodules and covering the bottom part of the node, but not the top part of the node. You want the top part of the node to be exposed to the air so that any rot that could occur doesn't occur. I wanted to show you guys one more example of propagating in a cup of water just because every cutting is so unique. So here's another one. Has some aerial roots. It hasn't formed into full roots yet. What I like to do is keep it in this cup of water until the roots are 1 to 2 inches in length. Then I normally transfer my pink princesses into moss or soil, whichever growing medium you prefer. I personally prefer moss, but that's just me. Now, of course, this process requires lots of patience on your end, and you might really want to just take your cutting out of the water and plant it after 1 week. But truly, you really want to wait until you see that added inch of growth on that root zone so you know that your Pink Princess is ready to sustain lower amounts of water for itself. Because as of right now, it's been soaking up as much as it wants to in that cup of water. The moment you transfer it to soil or moss, it can't absorb as much water as it's easily accessible in that cup of water. So you want to make sure that added root zone is there so that it can absorb the amount of water it needs to stay alive, happy, and perky. In my hand, I have a Pink Princess cutting that I've been rooting for this video for about 3 weeks now. It's given me about 2 added inches of growth on the longest aerial root, so I know it's ready for moss. And right now, the second step, after you propagate in water for about 2 to 3 weeks, you're going to want to move it out of water into your medium of choice. So let's get to it. I am obviously choosing my favorite method, growing in sphagnum moss. Definitely check out my YouTube video on growing in sphagnum moss so you know how to get the moisture just right. I'm going to speed through this part of the planting process, but just so you guys know, the key here is to pack in the moss around the root system so it has the support to grow and stabilize itself inside the pot. All right, so check it out. I've planted it so that the moss is at the same level the water was when it was in water propagation. So the top part of the node is still exposed, and you'll see the new growth come out of the sheath when it's time. Congratulations, you've potted up your Philodendron Pink Princess cutting in a pot with its roots. Now, it's time to look out for that new growth. And here's where you're gonna look for it. You're gonna look for it inside the sheath of the original leaf. What's gonna happen is the new shoot is gonna pop out of there and just be like, surprise, surprise, surprise. And it's gonna start popping off some beautiful, vibrant leaves and become a full plant. You're gonna just look out for that. Remember, right there in the sheath of the original leaf. Here's an example of what that new growth will look like on one of my mother specimens. Check it out. Right there, there's the node. There's the sheath of the original leaf, and right there, that's the new shoot. And that new shoot is going to grow very big and give you lots of beautiful growth for many years to come. Now that we've gone through the process of growing a Pink Princess specimen from a cutting into a full plant, let's talk about variegation. You might be thinking, hey Bloom Daddy, why does my cutting have no pink on it, and how will I know if it'll ever give me any pink leaves? Here's how you know. Check out the node. You see that thick pink line? That tells you that the genes of this Pink Princess specimen have lots of variegation in them and will give you that half moon variegation my mother plants all possess. The reason why you know it's going to be half moon is because of that thick line. You see that pink thick line on the node? That is what we call sectoral variegation in the houseplant community. And sectoral variegation is a really dominant pink line on the node itself, which will then eventually express itself on one of the leaves of your pink princess. Not all the leaves are going to express the highly variegated pink genes in the node itself. Some leaves are going to be green and some leaves are going to be pink. That's just the way variegation works with pink princess specimen. However, the good news is that it will give you that really nice pink growth eventually, and sometimes it takes a little bit longer than others. Sometimes the first leaf is just beautiful and amazing and magnificent. It just really is random, and it really depends on the node itself. What you're doing, fam, growing a full pink princess specimen from a cutting, is exactly what all the nurseries in the business do to make specimen of their own for their customers. So it's really fun. Trust me, from experience, it's really rewarding, and you will not regret it once you embark on this journey with your cutting. So I really hope you guys enjoy it as much as I do and as much as everyone else does, and happy growing.